Go Hawks! The balance of power in the NFC West has just shifted in a massive, earth-shattering way that every Seattle fan needs to hear about right now. Shout out to our dedicated followers in Seattle and across Estados Unidos for keeping the energy high. A monumental defensive acquisition has just landed in our division, changing the landscape for our upcoming title defense. Why does this move threaten our path to another ring? And how will our coaching staff respond to this immediate pressure? Subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and stick around as we break down this game-changing news. That decision revolves around the sudden arrival of Myles Garrett to our division rivals, the Los Angeles Rams. In a move that caught the entire league off guard, the Rams have sent Jared Verse and a haul of future draft picks, including a first-round selection in 2027, to the Cleveland Browns to secure the defensive superstar. This blockbuster trade, finalized well after the June 1st deadline, allows Los Angeles to absorb his massive contract and immediately plug him into their starting lineup. For the Seahawks, this is the ultimate challenge. We just came off a glorious run to the Super Bowl, and now the Rams are clearly gunning for our throne, going all in to topple us from our perch. Myles Garrett is not just any pass rusher, he is a statistical anomaly, a force of nature who set the NFL single-season sack record with 23 takedowns last year. Since entering the league as the #1 overall pick in 2017, he has amassed 125.5 sacks, distancing himself from every other defender in football, including TJ Watt. By pairing him with their newly acquired secondary, featuring Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson, the Rams are attempting to build a defensive juggernaut specifically designed to neutralize our offensive weapons like Jackson Smith-Njigba and Rashid Shaheed. The competition in the NFC West has just reached a boiling point, and the pressure on our front office and coaching staff to adjust is now at an absolute maximum. Every Seahawks fan needs to understand that the path to repeating as division champions just became significantly more difficult, but the fight is only just beginning. The ripple effect of this trade puts our quarterback, Sam Darnold, in a position where he will have far less time to operate inside the pocket when facing the Rams. When you look at the sheer impact of adding a player who consistently destroys game plans, you realize why this move is so critical for the division's hierarchy. The Rams are essentially betting their entire future on a short-term window to win with Matthew Stafford, and they have identified our offensive line as the primary target for their aggression. However, this is where the genius of our coaching staff comes into play. We have Mike Macdonald leading the charge, and he is intimately familiar with the threat that Myles Garrett poses, having studied him extensively during his time with the Baltimore Ravens. Macdonald now has a 7-month runway to craft a specific, high-level game plan to contain the terror that is Garrett before the two teams meet on Christmas Day at Lumen Field. This isn't just about one player, it is about the chess match between a defensive mastermind and one of the most dominant athletes to ever play the game. By acquiring Garrett, the Rams have signaled that they are not content with just being a playoff team. They are obsessed with dethroning the Seahawks. For us, this forces an immediate evaluation of our offensive protection schemes and tempo control. We cannot allow Garrett to disrupt our rhythm, and the upcoming matchups in the final 3 weeks of the season are now marked in red on every fan's calendar. The intensity of these games will be unlike anything we have seen this year. Why does this acquisition really matter for the Seahawks and our faithful supporters? It matters because the NFC West was already the most competitive division in the NFL, and now it has become a gauntlet. If we want to defend our status as Super Bowl champions, we have to prove that we can handle elite pressure, and Myles Garrett represents the highest level of difficulty in that regard. This isn't just a regular season headline. It is a direct statement from Los Angeles that they are willing to mortgage their 2027 draft capital to create a Super Bowl or bust scenario this year. For the Seahawks, this means our margin for error has essentially evaporated. If we struggle against the Rams in those 2 late-season clashes, we risk not only losing the division title, but also our seeding in the playoffs, which could make the road to repeating as champions infinitely harder. We have to look at how this impacts the morale and the preparation of our roster. When you face a defense that has fortified its secondary with McDuffie and Watson while adding a sack leader like Garrett, The mental challenge is just as big as the physical one. We have to maintain the championship mindset that got us the trophy last season, even as the league throws its best punches at us. Our team has the talent, the pedigree, and the coaching to stand firm. But we are entering a new phase of the season where every single rep matters. The Rams have pushed all their chips into the middle of the table, and now we get to see if our foundation is strong enough to withstand the pressure. The strategic implications of this trade are profound because they force us to rethink how we use our personnel on every passing down. With Garrett coming off the edge, we will likely see more double teams, tight end chip blocks, and an emphasis on the quick passing game to nullify the pass rush before it can reach Sam Darnold. This is where our depth will be tested. Will our interior offensive line hold up against the interior pressure that Garrett often helps create by demanding so much attention? This is a question that will loom over our training camp and through the first half of the season. The Rams are banking on the fact that we won't have an answer, but we have been here before against elite pass rushes and thrived because of our adaptability. We must remember that we are the kings of the mountain, and it is on the challenger to prove they can unseat us. The atmosphere at Lumen Field on Christmas Day is going to be electric, as that game likely serves as the final decider for who takes the NFC West crown. Fans should look at this not as a reason to panic, but as a reason to be excited for the level of football we are about to witness. The challenge of beating the best makes the eventual victory that much sweeter. We have the leadership in Mike McDonald to neutralize these individual threats through collective discipline and scheme, and we have a quarterback in Sam Darnold who has proven he can make the big plays when it matters most. It is time for the team to embrace this new reality. Ultimately, the acquisition of Myles Garrett by the Rams is a direct attempt to force a change in our championship trajectory, but it remains to be seen if one player can truly alter the outcome of the entire NFC West. We are the defending Super Bowl champions for a reason, and our identity is built on overcoming exactly these kinds of obstacles. As we move forward toward our Christmas Day showdown at Lumen Field, the focus for the Seahawks remains singular: to continue our dominance and secure another run at the Lombardi Trophy. We have the coaching, the talent, and the home field advantage to make sure that even the greatest defensive threats don't stop our momentum. The coming weeks will be filled with analysis, speculation, and intense preparation, and we will be here covering every single update as the story develops. We want to hear from you, the 12s, because your opinion is what keeps this community moving. With the Rams going all in and adding a historic sack leader to their roster, do you believe our current offensive line and scheme are prepared to shut down Myles Garrett when he comes to Seattle? Drop your predictions in the comment section below. Let us know how you think we should handle this new defensive threat, and be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our upcoming coverage as we track the road to the playoffs. Let's keep the energy at an all-time high, keep trusting the process, and as always, go Hawks!